Welcome. We're back. Probably the most nervous I've been for a stream ever. I mean, right when I started streaming, I was actually on Friday. I was watching like my first ever stream. Crazy, like how much has changed since then. But like I remember back when I first started streaming, like my first few ones every single time. And I was back then I was streaming for like 3 to 5 people concurrently. And I would like kind of like get nervous because I don't know. It was like the first time I was doing this, and it's very easy to say that a lot has changed since last October. It's been a crazy journey, and I just want to start off by thanking every single person here who's supported me since October, from whenever you started watching. I want to thank everybody who's messaged me this weekend, all the support, and on top of that, I also want to apologize to anybody that felt misleaded, anybody that felt whatever, however if there's any sort of whatever, I don't even know the right word to use. I just want to apologize, okay? I made a decision. I'm going to talk about everything, bring it up. I really want to cover every single thing right now, and then after that, I just want to like literally just crush it. I just want to continue crushing it. So I just want to get all of this off my chest. I want to make it very clear to everybody because, of course, you saw my words on Twitter, on the Discord. Very easy to make opinions based off of words. So now you're seeing me, you're seeing my face, you're looking into my eyes. So I'm just going to talk about everything. Give me 10-15 minutes maybe, and then we'll do the normally scheduled stream. And I'm going to try and stick around for much longer tonight and get a lot of ticker requests for all of you guys. So thank you for all the support in the chat. If you want to hit the like button, hit the like button. If you want to hit the dislike button, go for it. I'm never going to stop you from doing that. But also hit that subscribe button if you support the movement. And let's just get started. What does the free trading movement mean? Okay, why am I not changing the name? What was my decision? Let me just cover all of those questions. When I started the free trading movement, I was a couple months into Champion Vibe, right? So I was a couple months into streaming and everything, and I wanted to make something that's just not Champion Vibe, right? I didn't want everything to be Champion Vibe. I wanted to create a group of people whose main goal was to help each other out and to teach other people how to trade for free. Now, I don't know however it came across to different people, but I really hope that the only value people saw was not just the alerts. I still believe to this day, and I will continue to believe forever, the biggest value I can give to anybody, honestly, is the streams and just watching, what I look for and everything like that. But, it's a quote that I've been kind of reminding myself over the weekend. I tweeted it, posted in the Discord. It's loosely teach a man, or it's loosely feed a man to fish and he'll eat for a day. Teach a man to fish and he'll eat for the rest of his life, right? So I feel, especially lately, everything's just been about the trade setups. Everything's just been about the alerts, and that's never been my main goal. My main goal has always been to teach people how to find those charts, those potential trades by themselves. That's why the course is on my channel. That's why I stream every single night. That's why we have the Discord, and that's even why I put out trades so people can see what I personally think looks good, right? So that's what the free trading movement's about. Okay, we're gonna get more into the alerts, but the Discord's still free. I'm still streaming every single night, okay? The course is still there. The whole entire community is still here, all right? The whole community is what the free trading movement is. I am not the free trading movement. Every single person in the stream, in the Discord, that's the free trading movement. That is the free trading movement. That will stay the free trading movement forever, okay? Now, more specifically, and I just have some, points I want to cover because just to answer questions that people might have, but really I'm just trying to give all these answers off the top of my head and explain how I feel. But why did I make the decision? What was the decision I made? All right. And again, I'm still a little, I don't know why I'm nervous, but so I would have never thought that this was going to be a decision I would make. For 4 to 5 months straight, I've been putting out free alerts, free trades, or just ideas, right? And I'm not even going to really speak too much about results or whatever. I'll bring it up a little bit later, but it was a while, and I don't think a lot of people understood. Let me just put my mic down a little bit. I don't think a lot of people maybe understood that was not really what's going to teach you the best how to trade. The best way you can learn how to trade is through experience, not just seeing whatever somebody else feels about something and following them, right? And at the end of the day, nobody's going to be a better teacher for you than yourself. And I'm saying that, right? So for 4 months straight, trade after trade after trade, and I just feel that people never saw what went behind that, right? The whole entire year, 2 years actually, before I was even old enough to trade, of just learning this whole entire world of trading and technical analysis. Nobody really saw that. Nobody saw. I mean, for the last couple of weeks, I've been trying to share a little bit of my charting in the Discord, but nobody saw the hours and hours and hours every single weekend of charting, literally charting pretty much all day. And what made me come down to the decision, one, it's just I never want to get burned out. Okay, I want this to be my future, and I'm getting a lot of. I'm looking at my phone right now. I'm getting so many messages on Twitter and on Discord. So whoever's messaging me literally right now, thank you. But it's just so many different ways I can put things. I want this to be my future, right? I've devoted pretty much the majority of my life to this over the last 6 months. And then even before I started doing this publicly, I devoted my whole entire life to learning how to do this, right? And I'm still in college. I'm a full-time college student. Quite frankly, I don't put too much focus in college, and I want this to be what I do for the rest of my life. Now, I need a backbone and a structure to be able to do that. I have to, at some certain point, after 4 months of putting out free trades in a very nice market, I need to think about my future, but also the future of the whole entire movement. This only allows me to have more fuel. Like, literally, I am more fired up than I've ever been, not only to give more value, but to also prove the people wrong that thought that this is only just for whatever money, right? Of course, 100% the money is obviously a major reason. I'm not going to sit here and act like it's not. I'm not a liar. If you've been watching my streams, I've never lied and I never will. Okay? But that reason for that to be important is because if I'm going to be, and I really don't want to say this loudly, if I'm going to be sacrificing college and literally a bunch of different friendships and everything else, I really need to make sure that I personally am covering myself for the future. So that really covers what pushed the decision. I never thought it would get to that point, but you might have noticed in the last few weeks, I've been a little bit different, right? Because I've been thinking about this. Obviously I knew that when I made this decision, you really think I would make this decision if I didn't, like, when I made the decision, I knew there was going to be backlash. I accepted that. That was so obvious. But I really thought I'm sacrificing short-term backlash and people not understanding my vision for the future in order to solidify this as something that can last forever. That's really what made me feel okay with it. When I was going to put out the tweet in the Discord announcement, I sat right here with my mouse literally for probably 25 minutes. It was one of the scariest decisions I've made in my life, okay? And it's just a decision that I needed to make so that this can last forever, so that this can be my future, so that this can be our future, right? That's what pushed the decision. Now let's talk about the decision and how things are going to work moving forward. The best way for you to see how things are going to work moving forward is just by sticking around and watching. But I can tell you straight up, I've never been more fueled, or like my drive right now is crazy. I have not done really anything this weekend except sit here, plan things out, look at charts, do a few one-on-one calls, and really just try and up my game. And I even made that new harmonics video if you haven't checked that out. But I really want to put a lot more focus into education. I feel that in the last few weeks, what's also been draining me is I stopped really doing much education and I just started handing out trades. And that's never been the goal of the movement. Okay, so in terms of the trades, I know people value them and I'm humbled that that's the case. But also it's not the only thing, right? But for the trades and the alerts, again, they're just my opinions on charts, right? You decide how much you want to value that. That's completely your choice, right? And we'll talk about that in a second, go more into specifics. But in terms of, I feel like when I first put it out, people thought that you literally, everything is going to be behind a paywall. That's not the case. Really what I'm doing is I'm working extra overtime from what I've already been doing. People never saw, like, literally my day-to-day is I wake up in the morning, I check how things are looking. And from the second the market opens, pretty much until 5 p.m. my time, I'm multitasking, trading myself, doing college, doing homework, going to classes, and then also giving updates on the market on the trades. Then I have a couple one-on-one classes, or at least I have for the last few weeks. I try to work out, I try to eat, then I watch Mitch Ray stream for an hour, then I stream for an hour, then I work with the social media, and I get the timestamps onto the stream from the people who are helping me, check out the Discord. By the time at the end of the day, I've pretty much given myself about half an hour to relax, and then I go to sleep and I do the same exact thing again. right? So the trades themselves, moving forward, just to get back to the point, there still is going to be trades for everybody. And I'm not valuing any trades, whether they're premium or for members or whatever it is. Trades are trades. If I'm only going to put out a trade, I've always only put out trades that I feel good about, right? So that's not the difference. The real difference, and I'm just being completely straightforward, just the quantity. I mean, you can tell if you go back on the weekly sheet to like 7 weeks ago, I was only putting out less than 10 tickers a week. But if you look at the last few weeks, I've been putting out like 15 ticker weeks. So it's been a lot of trade setups constantly. D with the 1111 donation. Let me fix my audio. Sorry. FTM is about education, people. With all the free education, you can give yourself all the free alerts in the world. That's exactly the point, right? D, thank you very much for the 1111. Really appreciate the tip. And 100% agreed. I'm still getting messages from all of you. Thank you. I see the messages you're sending me. I'll answer them after the stream. I don't know why it's so bright. But there's still going to be trades for everybody. It's just the quantity's changing, okay? I can't give you an exact figure because it just depends on how the market looks every single week. It depends on how many good trades I can find in a certain time frame. And I don't want to be ever forcing trades. I never want to force trades. I just want to work as hard as I can to find the most amount of good trades. But if I can't find good trades, I can't find good trades. That's not really what that's just to make it clear. But I can't give you an exact figure, but just think of it like around 75% of the trades will be for premium, and you're still going to be getting those other 25% for the regular members. And honestly, what I'm thinking is, and if people want me to do this differently, it's for all of you, right? But I'm thinking I keep the shorter. I really want to keep the trades that I am putting out for everybody. I want to make them like more shorter term trades, like 1-2 week trades, just because if there's less trades, I want to make sure that the time frames of those trades can be quicker. So that's really what I'm thinking about. But it'll, again, you just need to give me a couple weeks so you can see what the exact flow will be. I'm not 100% sure, but I have an idea, and I'm just going to be optimizing based on what works and what doesn't. But I literally put out a new trade today for everybody. I put out a few trades already over the weekend for the premium members. You're still getting trades. Okay, so out of everything in the free trading movement, the only thing that's changed is, if you can tell, in the last 5-6 weeks, I've been giving out way more trades than I initially was 3 to 4 months ago. So those way more trades, the additional ones that I've been putting out for the last, however many weeks, are just going to be going to premium members for people who choose to sign up for premium, okay? For people who choose that. You don't have to choose that. You're still going to be getting how it was like a few months ago. So it's kind of a little bit going back to my roots, but then also working harder to improve the future while allowing me to try and make this my future, okay? So it's a mix of everything, and hopefully, I don't know if that was how long was that talk? Hopefully that was a little bit of a better explanation than what I could say in words. You could probably tell I'm not the best writer, so hopefully this explanation made a little bit more sense than, I guess, what I was saying over the weekend. But I don't want to sit here every single night and explain this. I just want to lead with actions from here on out. I wanted to obviously be very straightforward, very honest. That was literally as honest as I can be. I did not hold anything back. I was probably a little bit too honest on some things I said. I'll probably watch it back and it's like, But if you've been watching the stream, I'm not here to lie, to put up like false promises. I made a decision, and I do truly believe that it's the best decision for my future, for the future of this community. And all I ask is that you stick around to see how great things are going to be. This is only going to make things better. Even if you're not a premium member, I'm still putting out trades. It's not going away. It's just the quantity distribution of them is different. The quality is the same. I'm actually going to try, and obviously every single day I learn something new, so I'm trying to always improve the quality. All right. So I think I covered everything. I just wanted to cover all the points that I thought people might be asking about. And yeah, all right. Whether you sign up for premium or for not, every single person here has literally changed my life, and I want to thank each and every one of you for that. It's always completely your decision. Any person in the FTM is a member that I value and that I thank for joining this movement. All right. So moving forward, if you want to hate me, you can hate me. If you want to stick around, you can stick around. But I am making a promise that I'm not going anywhere, that I'm going to be working even harder than I always have, and I'm going to be providing as much as I possibly can. Friggin' cards, thank you for the $20 donation. 100% support. The education you and the community provide is most valuable, and that is still free. Absolutely. Literally every single thing that's been free is still free. There's still alerts that are still free. The only thing that's changing is the higher quantity that I've been doing the last couple of months is going to be moving over. That's the only thing that's changing. Streams, the whole entire community. There's not just me. There's so many awesome moderators, technical analysts, options analysts, news analysts, members. Like, there are 1,700 people in that Discord. I am not the only person that can provide value, and it is so awesome that we've been able to bring so many like-minded individuals together. So like I've said before, I am Champion Vive, sure. My name is Niall, right? That's me. But the free trading movement is its own standalone thing. I'm just the one who set it up, but it's all of us who are building it together. And this was just a personal decision for the Champion Vive side of things, if that makes sense. Obviously they intertwine, but I'm showing you the free trading movement website right now. There is a disconnect between the two, and I had to make a decision to improve both. And it was what happened, all right? So, final words, thank you so much to everybody who supported me, for everybody who's going to continue supporting me, to the people who were not so happy with the decision. I apologize, but I promise you, if you stick around, you don't even know how great the future is going to be. All right, trades for everybody, just a little bit of different quantity for different, for the premium and for the regular members in the Discord. But every single person here is a part of this community, and every single person here is alongside each other, helping each other out, and that's what the free trading movement is about. So that's the most I can say off the top of my head. If I forgot to say any things that I wanted to cover, I'll probably bring it up later, but that's everything. Been live for about, I think, 20 minutes now. Just really quick, I'm really not going to be spending like so much time talking about it, just because I want to get to like what the actual stream's about. Just literally, I'm going to try and do this in 1 minute. If you want the premium alerts, it's the pinned comment in the chat. If you don't want it, you don't want it. It's completely your choice. I'm still giving alerts to everybody. Earlier today, I kind of, let me go back. So you see all these like weeks, on the weekly sheet. I kind of compiled all of this data, and this is taking a while to scroll back. And I kind of like averaged it out. I'm not even going to spend too much time on this, but I just pretty much took each week. I looked at the green trades versus the red trades. I did not include the even trades, like these ones. I did not include them. I just went for green and red, and I just put them one over the other. So it's not an exact win rate, because again, I carry over trades because there's swing trades from week to week. Whoa, let's go. Neutron Flux Labs. Let's get it. Risk to reward is what the FTM is about. This is the risk you're taking to reward yourself. You just said that so perfectly, oh my gosh. But it's not to reward just myself, it's to reward everybody, because I'm telling you, the fuel that's in me right now, you don't even know what's coming next. And you did say, and others and essences of the FTM. You're taking a huge risk in this decision, absolutely. And I can see the spirit behind it. Heartfelt, bro, killing it, and so is your TA. Appreciate that very, very much. Yeah, 100%. I knew the risk I was taking. Again, you would think I would have to be insanely stupid to make this decision without thinking that there would not be huge risks. But I thought about this for weeks, and I did really think about all the pros and cons, and I just came out to the conclusion that sure, there is going to be certain pushback in the short term, but I do feel that the earlier I make this decision, the better. It would have been, way worse to do it 7-8 months down the road, because of how much things would have been growing by then. So I want to set things up early so we can just continue crushing this for years and years and years and years. So I did. I made the decision to sacrifice the short term, whether that be a week, whether that be a month, however long things are, in order to solidify the long term. That's really the decision I came down to. And for people who don't understand that, I apologize, but just give me a shot or don't. But yeah, I appreciate all the support, from the messages to anybody who's in the stream, hitting the like button, just viewing, sending tips, signing up for premium. The support's insane. My life has literally changed. And I say that as much as I can, but I always need to be saying it more, because it's the truth. But yeah, I just put together this sheet, just looking at the trades from like the last, what was this? I think 15 weeks. Because for the first few weeks of the sheet, I only put in winning trades just to see what trades were working out. But then after week 5, I started putting in all the trades. So I just kind of summarized everything, came out to pretty much, and again, there's a bunch of disclaimers here because it's not like an actual win rate, but I came out to a conclusion that about 73% of the trades week over week were net positive. And then you just tie that, and that doesn't matter. Win rate does not matter. That's such a, I hate how people only care about win rate for some people, especially newer traders. Win rate literally means nothing if you don't know how to manage your risk. You can win 9 out of 10 trades and then lose all those 9 trades profit in one bad trade, right? So what matters more is risk management, where you're winning so much on your winning trades and you're losing so little on your losing trades, right? As Mitch Ray says, if you have 3-to-1 reward to risk on every single trade, which means, you know, just for an example, on every single trade, let's say you're risking 5% to make 15%. Those two-thirds of trades you're theoretically losing, you're only losing that 5%, but that one trade you're winning for 15%, that makes you profitable, because the 2 trades you lost for 5% was a 10% loss, but the one trade you won for 15%, 15 minus 10, that's a 5% net profit. And obviously, that's if you have a 33% win rate. This is not like an exact win rate, but just a net positive trades week over week is about 73%. But yeah, if you would like to sign up for trade alerts, I don't want to push it too hard. It's only for people who want to. It's the pinned comment in the chat, and that covers everything. Let's get into the charts. We have so much to talk about. Okay, I've spent probably 10 hours this weekend charting, just setting up for the week. So let's talk about everything. And let me get a drink, let me get a sip of water. Or a drink of water, you could say either way. Alright. So starting off with futures, they're down. Okay, I'm on the right screen right now, perfect. Alright. Futures are currently down, so what I might have to do for the few trades I put out, I put out one trade in the members alerts, and I put out a couple in the premium. Depending on how the market opens tomorrow, I might have to readjust those trades, because if you get like a red open tomorrow, you know, things might gap down under the entries of the trades. So if they do gap down, I'll have to readjust it. So I'm going to probably look at how futures look after the stream, and then maybe do some adjustments on the trades. So please look at the Discord after the stream, because if they say like this, I might do some adjustments, or just say like wait to see how the market opens if you're thinking about anything. But again, it's always your choice at the end of the day, not financial advice. In terms of the market, let's actually just talk about you know, how the indices look, or index. I know you're not supposed to say indexes, but it's just so much easier than indices, or whatever the actual plural form of it is. But we're looking at the S&P futures. I mean, if you see on Friday, you kind of back tested your previous resistance as a support. It looks better on the 4-hour, okay? So you can see this blue line was your resistance, right, at this high, and on this high. And then on Friday, you kind of flipped it into your support. So maybe, who knows, maybe you come back down to test it as your support again. And I kind of talked about this in the Discord announcements channel. But what you want to happen, at least, okay, you want to make sure you hit the top of this wedge again before coming back down to the bottom. If you just do this, if you just come back down to the bottom, that's going to be known as a partial rise. A partial rise pretty much means that in a broadening formation, or even in it could be in anything, it could be in a rectangle, whatever pattern. But you know, if you get to a point far enough in the pattern and you make a move up without touching the top of the pattern, and before you get back up to the top of the pattern, you come right back down to the demand line, it heavily, I don't know the exact percentage, but it heavily increases your chance of having a breakout to the downside. So that would be a partial rise if you come back and test this demand line, which you don't. I mean, obviously you want to hold the demand line, but it would increase the probability of a breakout to the downside. So you want to have the S&P rally up again before actually coming back down and test this demand line, so you don't get a partial rise. Okay. Let's look at the actual S&P. That was just like the futures chart. On Friday, I think there was a there was a 4-hour bullish pin bar candle. I'm not going to show you like the actual previous ones, but the last like 3 or 4 times you had a bullish pin bar candle on the 4-hour on the S&P 500, you typically within a couple of days went up a nice amount after that pin bar candle. It just shows that during that 4-hour time frame, sellers really sold off the markets, but then buyers stepped up and bought up those dips, I guess. That's like the psychology of a pin bar. Yeah, I mean, you got one like right over here. If you guys remember in the Discord and on Twitter, I was like super bullish on the market. I put out multiple alerts this day when the stock market was looking super scary. A lot of people were freaking out, but you were at this support. I was super bullish, and you even had that pretty much pin bar candle right over here. And then obviously you saw the rally after that. So that's the S&P 500. This is the NASDAQ. Of course, there's 2 different ways to look at it. You can look at it like a regular head and shoulders, which is bearish, or you can look at it like an inverse head and shoulders. The make or break area, and it's just super easy to assess how the NASDAQ looks, is 13,000. If you are above 13,000 on the NASDAQ, I think you're bullish. If you are below 13,000 on the NASDAQ, I think you're bearish. So I am bullish on tech unless you fall under 13,000. If you do, then I think there's room down to like 12.6K. But as long as you can hold above 13,000, you could be developing the right shoulder of an inverse head and shoulders. And really what you want to happen is you want to do this, right? You want to do this before you do this, okay? That's what you want to happen. But there are two potential scenarios. And I think, yeah, there is some 4-hour hidden bearish divergence now on the 4-hour on the NASDAQ. So that does not help the bullish argument, just to be straightforward. Let me take that off the daily. So that is NASDAQ. QQQ is pretty much the same exact thing. Obviously very, very similar. Pretty much the same exact thing, but instead of your level being 13K, it's 311, kind of. And yeah. The 10-year, I think the future, I don't know if they're, yeah, it looks like it's been going up a little bit, but the 10-year still, unfortunately, looks fine for right now. I mean, for people in it, like, congrats, but not good for the market typically. You probably want this to fall. But you did break over this supply line, and now you're back testing as a support. In terms of the 10-year, that is kind of bullish, but I hope it becomes bearish. I mean, I don't hope it does. I'm just saying, like, for the market, I don't know. It's a weird way to put it, but... And then the dollar, which also technically you want to go down if you want the market to go up. But obviously, for economical reasons, you'll probably still want this to go up. It's just, again, it's a fine line. If you're talking about stocks, you want the dollar and the 10-year yields to be down. If you're talking about the economy, you probably want them to, well, not the 10-year. I'm not too sure about the 10-year. I'm not super advanced in economics. But you probably want the dollar to be strong if you're just talking about the general economy. So I'm not wishing anything bad. I'm just saying for the markets, I'm trying to be unbiased here. Did break out of this falling wedge. I've been showing this for months now on the dollar. And you are breaking over a resistance as well. So still it does look kind of good for right now. So that covers all of the indices or indexes, whatever you want to say. Oh yeah, Bitcoin. A lot of bearish divergence. I've been showing this for a couple days now on Bitcoin. We had a great trade on Bitcoin. Pretty much this whole entire move was a trade on Bitcoin. I think it was between like a 25 to 30% profit. So there was a trade here and it hit pretty much all the targets. It was a couple $100 away from the third target. But yeah, at this point you are showing daily classic bearish divergence on the MACD and triple daily classic bearish divergence on the RSI. Let me check out the 4-hour. Looks like you also have some hidden bearish divergence on the 4-hour, which may or may not be done playing out. And then it looks like you are breaking out of this symmetrical triangle on the 4-hour. You broke out of it, then you back tested this support as a resistance. So it's kind of looking like a break hook and go to the downside. And if the technicals do play out here, you could probably just be headed anywhere to test like this general area right over here, right? Where you have this upsloping support, and then you also have the previous resistance of 50, that's 52, almost like 53K kind of, but yeah, I mean, if the technicals play out, I do think it is a little bit bearish in the short term, just in the short term. But again, the macro, you know, the fundamental look on Bitcoin right now is super, super strong with institutional buying and just a lot of adoption. So we'll see if the bearish technicals play out in Bitcoin's greatest bull run ever, right? So that is Bitcoin. And yeah, that goes over the market. We talked about the 10-year for a little bit. We talked about the dollar. We talked about Bitcoin. Hopefully that gives you a little bit of a read. Futures are currently down. Well, S&P futures are currently down 0.35%. And that really covers the gist of that. The only new member trade going into the week just for right now is Zoom. Looks pretty interesting. This is a pretty textbook bullish Gartley pattern. Again, I put out a full 20-minute video on what harmonic patterns are. Literally today, it's the last video on my channel if you want to go check it out. It's really educational, I hope. But pretty textbook bullish Gartley on Zoom. And you double bottomed at the PCZ, which means not once but twice buyers confirmed, at least in the short term, that they think the value is pretty much above $310 for Zoom. Okay, it just helps to confirm that PCZ a little bit more. I wish you did have like good looking divergence, but it's more of just convergence where you made a little bit of a higher low on that double bottom, made a little bit of a higher low on your RSI on the daily, higher low on your MACD on the daily, higher low on your RSI on the 4-hour and MACD on the 4-hour. So it's a lot of convergence. but that's not bad. It's still a little bit bullish. It's not as good as divergence, but it's still bullish convergence. Just means the same thing is happening on your oscillators in the price, but the price is making higher low. So this is Zoom. Again, if futures stay down overnight, I might have to reassess it because, you know, it might just simply open up like over here, and then you could just lower the entry and then lower the stop loss a little bit. But so I'll have to think about the best way to go about that. And then I put out 3 new trades on, I think Friday, maybe, was it Friday? Let me just check. Let's see over here. Because I don't know if I covered those on stream yet. I might have, but let's see. So Fisker was, yeah, I did put that on Friday. That was the 19th. Yep, Fisker, Velodyne, and yeah, CCIV. So I put out 3 new trades on Friday for everybody. Let me just put them right over here. Okay, first one was Fisker. Now on Thursday night, I had actually charted Fisker and I was planning on putting out a trade for Fisker like on Friday morning. But then on Friday morning, Fisker had some good news come out and it was like up like over 10% or something, I believe. But then the market pulled back right at open and then Fisker dropped with the market. So I'm like, all right, I'll put out the trade now then, I guess. So this is what kind of happened. Like I charted it right. My entry initially was going to be at $20 right over here, which is where I closed the day before, but you gapped up pre-market. So it was all the way up here. So I was not trying to, you know, put out the trade after it already started moving, like getting in before the hype. But then the market kind of pulled it back. So when it fell back down here, I put out the trade. It's a 1-hour trade. It's a short-term trade where you broke out of this little downtrending channel. This is a 1-hour chart. It's not the most reliable, just a short-term trade. But you have triple classic bullish divergence. So I do think that the short-term technicals on Fisker look good, but it also depends on how the market does. Just like all the tickers I'm about to show you, just depends on what the macro market does, which is why we always talk about the indices. I hate saying that word. But yeah, I mean, there's like a slight little gap. I don't even know if that's on your daily. No, you don't even have the gap on the daily. So I think the 1-hour chart looks good on Fisker. The 4-hour on Fisker does not really have a signal. Well, actually, now that I look at it, it does. Whoa, you're actually showing 4-hour hidden bullish divergence starting to develop on the 4-hour. So that's good. Not confirmed, but it's good. And then on the daily, I'm not saying the daily looks bearish. All I'm saying is it's just something I noticed. You have a potential harmonic butterfly pattern. We all know what happened. This is probably the most legendary trade I ever put out. It's literally right behind me on the wall. This is what happened on the last butterfly. It went crazy. Unfortunately though, the PCZ, or the first potential PCZ of the butterfly, would be down at like 1550, which would actually also line up with that major support in the Wyckoff accumulation range we also put out a trade on, which was a huge gain, which was that move. So I think short term looks bullish, but the long term, who knows? Maybe it does fall down to this PCZ, which I'd probably put out a trade if it did. But you're not even close to there. There's a lot of support between right now and 1550, so I'm not calling for anything. I'm just saying if it does, potential butterfly, okay? And then the other 2 trades I put out on Friday, if the market holds up, and again, it's completely this is solely my opinion, the market does not care about my opinion, CCIV is one of the best looking charts I see going into this week. Okay, let me show you the CCIV chart. Inverse head and shoulders, potentially. It's not a confirmed inverse head and shoulders until you break out to the upside, just potentially. You're holding that right shoulder. I like how the bulls brought up the price just a little bit on Friday afternoon to close back above 26.66. This trade is literally at the entry to the cent. So the trade was down a few percent on Friday morning when the market was falling, but then it rallied back up and it closed right at the entry of the trade. And you're showing hidden bullish divergence that is inches away from confirming on CCIV. Now let me show you the 1-hour, okay? There's a Gartley on the 1-hour. So not only are you showing a bullish signal for the long term on the daily with the inverse head and shoulders and the hidden bullish divergence, your 1-hour chart is giving you confluence, which means it's kind of lining up and confirming your thesis, because you're also showing a bullish Gartley and you're kind of just going sideways at the PCZ, which is also a major support, 26.66. Why is this a major support? Let's go look at it. Okay, it was your low on this candle, it was your low on this candle, low on this candle, and it was your high on that candle. And you're right above it, you're 20 cents above it. So you want to hold above that on the daily closes. And then you're also showing 1-hour hidden bullish divergence. So the 1-hour and daily, one of the best looking charts I've seen. Does that mean it's going to go up? No. It just means it has a decent probability. We'll see if the probability works out for it, but it's more of a long-term play. I mean, you could play the short-term partly on the 1-hour if it holds the support, but I really do think that If it breaks out of this inverse head and shoulders, and you're very far away from that, but if it does, you could see a pretty crazy move. There's gaps to fill. There's like really not much resistance. But there's 3 different targets on this trade. The first target is just like the neckline of the inverse head and shoulders. The second target is the 382 fib. The third target is the 0.50 fib. And that's really what I went with. Do have a gap fill all the way up here to like $56, but who knows what the market will look like in the next few weeks. I mean, this is literally a 58% profit if it hits the third target, but that's a long-term target, okay? So you need to bounce here, but technicals look pretty good. We'll see if it does it. Then the third new trade I put out for everybody on Friday was the VLDR. This one's a very, very simple trade, not gonna lie. You're just holding this 1217 support. As long as you can hold above 1217, you look good on the chart. And you're showing classic bullish divergence on the daily. Support, divergence, even have a gap to fill in this little box right here, which is also where 200-day moving averages. So my target's like right under that, just so sell orders can hit whatever. And that's VLDR, the other trade I put out on Friday. So that covers like all the new trades. The Zoom trade I put out today, then Fisker, CCIV, VLDR I put out on Friday morning. Just wanted to cover them because I haven't streamed since then. So that really covers the gist of things there. We have a bunch of other ongoing trades going into the week from last week. So let me show you that as well. Come over here. Yeah, all these trades are still on. So look, Fisker, CCIV, and VLDR. VLDR trade's already at 4%, and I put that out on Friday. I didn't even remember that. But yeah, Fisker, CCIV, VLDR are the new ones, but everything else here is like ongoing from last week. Last week was a pretty decent week. It wasn't amazing, but it was pretty decent. And I also need to add the Zoom trade. AZM. Give me 1 second, sorry. I should be doing this off stream, but it'll take me literally 1 second. On Zoom, we are playing the Gartley. I just wanted to remember which harmonic it was. Gartley, and that's pretty much at the entry. Again, depending on how futures look overnight, I might have to adjust some of the trades I alerted today. And then there's 2 premium trades, bullish cipher and inverse head and shoulders, and then support and divergence. But I can't share the names yet until, I guess maybe, I don't even want to say till when, but if you want to see them, it's the pinned comment in the chat. And let's get back to charts. Let's talk about everything else. Let's talk about Clover real quick. I hate how the chat switched my overlay. I don't know how to fix that, so sucks. Start typing in chat again, I guess. So yeah. Clover. I don't know, maybe it's just a game of patience, make out, but the trade's already up 20% since the first entry, it's up 33% since the second entry. You broke out of this descending broadening wedge, you had a bullish crab PCZ. Looks good to me for the long term. The 4 hour does have a little bit, or not a little bit, has a decent amount of hidden bearish divergence, potential hidden bearish divergence. It's not confirmed unless your MACD moves over to red, okay? Let's skip that song. And I think on the 1 hour, your support is like 830 or something. I kind of readjusted the lines over here. Kind of looks like this on the 1 hour to me, but realistically, this is like your support. Around like the 820s is definitely where you want to hold above, all right? So that is Clover. And then that song as well, XL. I did not put out a trade on XL. Wait, why is that? Whoa, that's so bright. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry. I did not put out a trade on XL because of the short report and stuff. I don't know why it's on my watch list with the purple flag on it because I trade out on. But let's just move on. BABA. Hidden bullish divergence is confirmed. The double bottom looks good. This trade's already up. This one was probably my favorite looking chart last week. It's already up 5%. So nice double bottom. It looks pretty good. But again, what is going on with my audio? But again, everything depends on how the market opens. Futures are bouncing a little bit right now. But the BABA trade, I think I posted a week. Very nice start. Looks great for right now. AUTL broke out of the falling wedge. This has been around for a little bit, like over a week now, I think. Long-term trade, not even gonna really worry about it. Yeah, it's up 6%, but it's a long-term trade. It'll go up, it'll go down. Just matters where it finishes. Same thing with XPB. The trade's up 37% in 2 weeks. It'll go up, it'll go down. It just matters where the trade finishes. Don't let this turn into a losing trade when you're already up 37% in 2 weeks, okay? Long-term trade that's actually at a loss, but again, it'll go up, it'll go down. It's a long-term trade. I put out a lot of long-term trades like last week or the week before, but you are holding above 55. As long as you do that, you're good on RBA. Just sit back, relax. It's a long-term trade. Maybe it works out, make your own choice, right? I was trying to opt after hours on Friday. I don't remember. I could just check it out. Let me see what it closed at after hours. Oh, so it popped and then I guess it faded after hours, but this trade has been up and down. You are showing some 4-hour hidden bearish divergence, but again, it's a long-term trade. It'll go up, it'll go down. Cheddar freeze, you're right. Stocks will go up and down. So again, super long-term, cup and handle. Daily looks good. Hidden bullish divergence looks good, right? It looks good. Now, one thing I want to also clear up, on a lot of the shorter term trades, my preference personally is if you have a trade that goes up 10% and it's a short-term trade and then it drops all the way back down to the entry, just break even on that trade, because I mean, you don't want to turn a winning trade into a losing trade. But for the longer term trades, they're going to mess around a lot, right? They're longer term trades. That's, I usually don't cancel out longer term trades unless they hit the stop losses, but again, completely your choice. This is a high risk, high reward trade. Probably the loosest stop loss I've ever put out on a trade, just because of how good the cup and handle looks and the hidden bullish divergence. I even like their website, what the company is about, digital solutions when I look through their stuff. But please, if you're not comfortable with that risk, nobody's forcing you to do anything. It's always your choice. This is just an idea. It's an idea of a chart. You make up what you want out of it, all right? Long-term trade. ANDI. Divergence looks good on the daily. Is there bearish divergence on the 4-hour? Yeah, well, this is what you want. This is actually what you want. So a lot of these charts are showing potential 4-hour bearish divergence on many stocks, but you want them to start going back up and not confirming it. They're potential. Unless your MACD goes to red, it's just potential. So you want them to just stall out and then start going back up. But you probably need the market to be okay for that to happen, right? But it looks good. I mean, just get back to 1 second. You need to break out of this inverse head and shoulders, and as long as you're over 674, which is a mega support, you definitely want to hold 674. You look good. DCPH also broke out on Friday. This was like up 9% on Friday, but again, it's a long-term trade. Look at the targets. They're way, way higher. But of course, this is a nice start. Okay, trade's up 7%. It broke out of the supply line. The quadruple classic bullish divergence. This is one of the best charts I've seen in a while. Oh no, where did the harmonic go? I think I might have been in a class. I might have deleted the harmonic. Kind of like a cipher, right? Was it I can't even remember. I'm going to look at this after the stream, but it was something like that. Not a perfect harmonic, but the XABCD movement. And I'll have to look at how exactly I had it charted. I'll just do it right now really quickly. So that might be too deep for... Let me just look at the actual trade itself. Probably a little while back, huh? CPH. Yeah, like this. Okay, it looks it's definitely a stretch, but the XTB's a little bit of a stretch, but again, it's a PCZ, potential PCZ around the 786, and it's worth the divergence. It looks good. I know it's a cipher. I was just saying, typically on your cipher, just to confirm so I don't say the wrong thing, you don't want your B point to be under a 618. But again, it's pretty close to it, and the main reason of the trade was the quadruple divergence of support, and you technically were at the PCZ. It's pretty close. Just a little bit of compromising. Palantir. This trade's been out for a while, like probably 3 weeks or more. It's hanging in there. I mean, at one point this trade was up 16%. Now it's only up like 2 or 3%. So you probably want Palantir to have a good week. So that's really all I'm going to say for it. There is some hidden bearish divergence on the 4-hour. But the daily, even the daily could have some hidden bearish divergence. So you're hanging on by a thread on the PLTR trade. And then Tilray, this trade's down. It's trying to hold on to this. It literally closed right at the 25.35 support. Also hanging on by a thread, kind of. You probably want a nice open to the week for it. just to get back above 27. But you know, not completely going the way I hoped for. But again, I was watching a lot of Mark Douglas videos last night. Again, the trades. You can put on 30 trades. You cannot possibly know which one is going to work, which one's going to not work. You can find 30 charts that are the same exact looking chart, same pattern, same divergence. All 30 of them, just because they're the same looking chart, does not mean all 30 of them will work. Sometimes stocks just do things that don't align with technicals. Technicals are only probability, so it's just part of the game, right? And I like what Mark Douglas said, and I've kind of said it before, but in my own way. But you know, losses are just kind of the price you pay to play this game of trading. You know, that's kind of the fee in trading. But you know, as long as you can manage your risk and not get destroyed by trades and just be a robot when you're trading, that's where the profit comes in. Not swinging for the fences on every single trade and not you know, cutting losses when you should be. So that covers everything. All right, we covered all the trades, we covered the market, we covered Bitcoin, we covered the decision on the premium trades. Been live. I don't know what is happening. I swear, like the last like 5-6 streams, I feel like I'm live for like an hour and a half. We've only been live for like an hour, so it's crazy. But I'm staying live. Don't have anywhere to go right now, but yeah, I mean, over the weekend, I really have not relaxed this weekend that much. I mean, I watched one movie. I watched The Pursuit of Happiness for actually the first time. I know it's like watched, but I never watched it until Friday. Other than that, like this weekend, I was literally setting up the whole entire premium trades and charting this weekend for probably in total 12 to 15 hours. Breaks from charting over the weekend aside from my Sunday scanning, but pretty much like half of Saturday I was charting and like all of today or most of today. So I've been charting quite a bit. Again, but I'm not feeling like exhausted by it. Usually when I chart for like more than 10 hours in a day, I'll feel crazy times, but I'm just feeling filled up with how much I want to prove, and not only prove, but just how much value I want to provide. And that covers everything. Hopefully you enjoyed all of that analysis. Hopefully you understood the explanation I gave in the beginning of the stream. If you don't, again, I know not everybody's going to agree with me, but again, this is term vision. This is not a short-term decision. This is okay. I already talked about everything. I don't want to bring it all up again, but this is a decision I made for the long term, not for the short term. For the short term, I'm going to prove how it's also worth it in the short term, but it's going to be hard for you to see the short term if you can't see the long term. And technically only I can see it, so I understand from how some people are viewing it, but patience. In the thumbnail of the stream, I put Karate Kid. If you get the reference, you get the reference, but everything is for a reason. In the movie Karate Kid, the sensei, Daniel's son, do all of like the crazy like washing windows and just picking up items in the yard and moving them over, and it just felt so, yeah, wax on, wax off, exactly. And I was just going to help you in the short term, but everything has a plan in the long term. All right, everything has a plan. Sometimes see it, some people won't, but the plan is there. And yeah, hopefully you had a good weekend. Not gonna lie, it was a big decision, big risk, but calculated. In their life is gonna have decisions that are tough, and I'm sure you know most people here fix like 30 to like 45. So I'm sure every single person in here has faced tough decisions in their life. It's all for the long run, right? And yeah, but we'll go over some takers for everybody. I want to spend a lot more time helping out. And also, I feel like I definitely need to spend more time with education. As I also said before, it's just like a part of this, it's kind of like a mix between two worlds. Half of it is me trying to go back to my core, which is education, and not just throwing out trades and trades and trades and trades. That's the main part of it. And the other, not the main part, but that's like half of it, solidifying the future and letting this movement last for a very long time. All right, that's just another explanation, okay? And yeah, let's go over some tickers, right? If you want me to take a look at something for you, please remember, it all depends on the market at the end of the day, the overall market. If that's something that's up like 55%, I'm not really going to be able to give you an answer because that's not how I trade. I'm only going to be able to answer things that are kind of my style of trading, which is reversal swing trading, consistent charts, trying to get in before the hype and trying to get out during the hype, right? Trying to, you know, kind of like just patience and positioning yourself to make money after technicals potentially play out. That's really how I trade. So yeah, grab some tickers in the chat. We'll take a look at as many as I can. And yeah, hit that like button. And if you want to subscribe, hit that subscribe button. If you want to sign up for premium alerts, it's the pinned comment in the chat. If you want to get some merch or send a tip, it's the second link in the description. But let's look at some charts, all right? You know where to find everything by now, I think, maybe. All right, looks like we got some sell coming in. Yeah, S&P futures did just jump. NASDAQ as well. I think NASDAQ futures, are they green? I don't even know the ticker for NASDAQ futures on TradingView, which is disgusting. Let's see. Yeah, NASDAQ. Is that right? Is that right? NASDAQ futures are up 0.5%? Really? I'm just looking at, all right, so NASDAQ futures are up about 1/3%. Okay, so nice. They're outperforming all the other indices in futures. S&P futures are down, like, they're almost going back to green. So maybe we could get Zach Morris to tweet the green Power Ranger if they can come back to green. But we'll see what happens there. We got a lot of charts to look at. And yeah, appreciate all the support. For real, thank you. CCNC, Ubo, EE, Snow. Oh my gosh. All right, before we even look at the tickers, I'm sorry. I made a watch list today. We need to go over the watch list. I completely forgot. So I spent about 1.5 hours scanning tickers for a watch list. I am going to come back to these tickers right after I go over the watch list. So I would say hold off on sending tickers for like 5 minutes. I just want to go over the watch list real quick. But I have the ones added from already. I think one person also said ITRM. Already added it. Right over here. So I found 5 potential trades. I was scanning for like 1.5 hours. I went live in the Discord for like 15-20 minutes. So IQ looks pretty interesting. Cup and handle, it looks a little bit weird with this gap down it had over here. But this one, IQ, the ticker is IQ. Cup and handle. I mean, if it breaks over 28 bucks, this really does not have much resistance at all. There's a little resistance at 29, but other than that, like, you go crazy. You just need to break 28 here. If we go over to the daily, you have some hidden bullish divergence as well. So cup and handle with hidden bullish divergence, technically it already broke out of the cup and handle. And now it's just showing like a little bit of like a upsloping flag. Beyond. So this is pretty much the same exact Beyond trade that I put out a few weeks ago, but it still looks good. That's why I put it back on the watch list. It's still around the entry and it still looks good. You're inches away from confirming your hidden bullish divergence. And if we go on the 4 hour, you went back to green on your MACD on Friday and you're pretty close to testing a breakout of this downtrend. So very had when I put out the original Beyond trade, but I realized that it actually still looks good, even though it had a couple weird days last week. So we'll see if Beyond can pivot this week. Another thing I found for the watch list going to week is Snow. Classic bullish divergence on the daily, potential double bottom. You could say that there's a harmonic pattern. There's just a lot of different weird ways to look at it. I was trying to find like a perfect one, but they're all just like a little bit scuffed. Like if you go from like the all-time low back here, up to here, then down to here, right? It's not really like perfect, and like the PCZ is not perfect either, because you kind of bottomed at like 1.9, which is not technically like an official PCZ, if that's like the right word to use. So it's just, yes, you can probably figure out some sort of harmonic to use, but regardless, you just want to hold over this area. Otherwise, you're not going to have any support. So you want to hold above, worst case scenario, 207 or 208, and potential double bottom with divergence. And then NCLH, I think it's the 1 hour trade potentially. Yep, you're showing some classic bullish divergence on the 1 hour, right? Nice classic bullish divergence, and you're trying to flip your previous resistance into a support. So pretty short-term trade, we'll see if anything happens there. And then BZUN, hidden bullish divergence on the daily, and it kind of broke out of this little supply line right here. But again, we'll see how things open. They're just potential for right now. So those are just some things. It took me like 1.5 hours to find those. So, yeah, that's, again, it's quality, right? You spend a lot of time scanning, and everybody should be scanning every single weekend. If you really want to be a trader, even, it doesn't have to be on the weekend, but whenever you have time, you need to be putting in work scanning. You cannot just get all of your plays off of social media. all right? Especially when the market changes, which at some point it will. You got to learn how to scan. You got to find a scanner that works for you. Find a method that works best for you. Might not be my method. But yeah, I want to make a video on scanning at some point. Also a video on options at some point. And I put out the video on harmonics, which was definitely long overdue. I put out that video today. And yeah, I found these 5 tickers for the watch list. I found a couple others that are in the premium channels in the Discord. That's the pinned chat. I haven't streamed in like 3 days. That's the pinned chat in the stream. I don't even know what I'm saying. If you want to sign up for premium alerts. But let's get back to the ticker reviews. I completely forgot about the watch list. I need to bring that up. I usually do that on Fridays. VIX futures are flat, says Sapper. So yeah, we have a bunch of tickers in the chat. I think I was looking at EA today when I was scanning. We already put those actually, yeah. Alright, I think this is where I left off. Let's see. So ALU, Penn has been going crazy. Oh my gosh, Penn's insane. Alright, CCNC. Hidden bullish divergence on the daily. Looks like I've already charted this. Hidden bullish divergence on the daily and the 4-hour. Technically, as long as you're above 415, you're good, but you're what? Like 20% above that right now? Yeah, you're like 21%, 22% above that. And I'm not too sure about any other supports, so I'm not sure how you manage your risk, but you do have some divergence. BE, Bloom Energy. Potential, it's not like a perfect inverse head and shoulders, but the argument could be made. Okay, with the candle wicks on BE. All right. Right there and right there. So, I mean, if you break that supply line, yeah, you could have a pretty nice run. There's not much resistance. But that's really what I'm looking at. Kind of some bullish convergence on the 4-hour, not much of any divergence on the daily. ITRM been getting a lot of hype on Twitter. Hidden bullish divergence on the daily. MACD and RSI looks nice. Hidden bullish divergence on the 4-hour as well. So a lot of hidden bullish divergence. You're at a pretty decent make or break area, 166. You're right above it, so you want to stay above 166. My back is starting to hurt. I need to sit up straight. Electronic Arts. You're right in the middle of a range, so I'm not too sure there. Sorry. Interest. Not catching much of a signal here either. You could be trying to break out of this range. Not too sure how you would manage your risk though. I don't see much of like an edge, but that means anything can happen, right? Grow generation. Is this a pos? But no divergence on the daily or the 4-hour. So I'm not too sure there. This also kind of could be considered like a inverse head and shoulders. It's not super clear. I think a lot of stocks are showing potential inverse head and shoulders because the NASDAQ and the QQQ are. A lot of the times, a lot of stocks will replicate what the indices are showing for patterns because the indices represent the stocks. It kind of works both ways, right? So, potential inverse head and shoulders. You definitely just want to stay above 736. That's your support from this resistance and from this support. Apple. This trade frustrates me, but let's move on from it. Even though I somehow was able to make profit on my options on Apple on that trade. You're hanging on by a thread here on Apple. I mean, futures are up on the NASDAQ, so maybe that helps out Apple if they stay up overnight. But you're just trying to hang on to this support area, make or break area. That's the best I can really. Not much of an edge on the oscillators. Utu, I have no clue. That's not really my style of trading. I just don't really see divergence patterns, just kind of candles is all I really see right now, so can't really help you there, sorry. ALUS. Is it hidden bullish divergence? It might be. Well, if you ignore these candle wicks from March 5th when the whole entire market was at the lows, sure. But not much of an edge on the fire. I'm not too sure about this chart either. I mean, potential double bottom. Your resistance is $11. Probably want to break that. N. Let's see. Definitely a downsloping support right there. Yeah, kind of looks like a just a broadening wedge. I mean, if you ignore this little fake out, and you're right in the middle of it, so that's kind of as 50-50 as it gets. Neutral pattern, right in the middle of it, and no divergence. So I'm not too sure. Didn't they get added to? Is it pen that got added to the S&P? I can't remember. Isn't there an inverse head and shoulders on EA if you zoom out? See what you're saying. Well, I'm not even too sure if I am. Does not look like an I think you're kind of looking at it like this. Like that. Whoa. Kind of like this maybe. But this whole entire, it's just so much white area in the pattern. Even, I don't think it is. It doesn't really look like one to me. It just doesn't really feel like a natural inverse head and shoulders. And I never like forcing patterns. Either you have a pattern or you don't. That's kind of how I look at it. But you don't need a pattern for the price to go up. It's just so. I mean, your MACD is nice. It's been going back up towards green while the price has been going down. Some local divergence potentially. Yeah, we need 6 more likes to hit 50 likes. So smash that like button and hit the subscribe button and check out the harmonic video I dropped today if you want to learn about harmonic patterns. And if you want to see a bunch of other trades that I'm not able to show on stream for now, join the premium alerts by hitting the pin chat. I'm so bad at like plugging things. By hitting the pin chat in the stream, in the live chat, whatever, yay. I appreciate all the support for the Fubo. Yeah, let me get over that. Let me get that one. I'm going to be missing a few takers. It's hard to remember them all. Try my best though. Let's see, what else did I miss? It went over pen. UTNT. Ow. Matic. ENGO. Palantir. Oh, we already went over Palantir actually. Not too much of an edge on it. Just kind of hanging on by a thread over that support area. Does ITRM have a head and shoulders on the daily? ERCH. I get what you're saying. I do. Like this maybe. Look, I don't like forcing patterns. Like, you could make the argument, but I like patterns being crystal clear, right? It's just not too crystal clear with like this weird movement and then the lower right shoulder, then the left shoulder. Not too sure. I think just look at the supports and the resistance levels if you can really solidify a pattern. Don't try and force patterns, but. So QTNT. I don't like how you're under 434. You go on the weekly. Well, you still have support at like kind of like on the weekly, so you're kind of, yeah, it makes sense why you're ranging in here. You're just in between a support and a resistance. Whichever way you break will probably be telling. You do have some class C classic bullish divergence on the daily where you have the same low on your MACD but a lower low on price. I was up 10% on Friday. Nice divergence. I think I'm lagging a little bit. I don't know why. Or at least my computer is. So nice hidden bullish divergence on POW. Over to the 4 hour. And you have classic bullish divergence on the 4 hour. Pretty interesting. Not a lot of data on this chart though, but I mean, maybe you could stretch it, probably call it like a falling wedge. Almost a textbook falling wedge, really. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, you have 5 touches and you broke out. So this looks like a falling wedge where you broke out with a bunch of divergence. Let me make this show up on day. This is a trade, you know, potentially. Again, I can't say it's like a trade like certainly, but again, a trade doesn't mean it's going to go up. A trade just means it has a chance with a decent probability, right? And then it's always your decision on, you know, what you want to do. But nice, good request. Matthew Schultz. How would I trade this? Well, I would target the 50% retrace, which is like the textbook way to target a falling wedge from your previous swing high down to your swing low, kind of like right there. You could even target the 6 when it lines up with like a little bit of a candle resistance, and then kind of probably enter right here because it already broke out. You might be a little bit late even entering right here. It's the wrong tool. Yeah, I mean, whether you target it here or here, I'd probably place my my stop loss under these lows right over here. So let me just move this over. Probably just something like that. Get about like a 2.6 reward to risk, so not the best reward to risk, but good request. I'll keep it on my watch list. Might post it for everybody later, depending on how it opens tomorrow. Maybe it gives us like, that would be perfect if it gives us like a back test the previous resistance as a support. Matic to the US dollar, really don't see an edge here. Might just depend on Bitcoin. Don't see divergence. You're kind of like right in the support area. I mean, this is a really good support area. Okay, this whole entire area. And stay above it, you're fine. You're in a very nice uptrend. If you fall under it, then there's like room down to like 2.5. That's 25 cents. So you don't want to fall under this area. Then there's not much support. BNGO, don't really see an edge on this chart. Not enough data for me to really give you an answer, I'm sorry. LSPD, you're right out of support. So I don't know, maybe it even breaks the support and then double bottoms. Just a lot of really predicting, and I don't like trying to predict too hard. I just try to use probability. So I mean, sure, it could bounce up here, or it could just do something like this and then double bottom. Or it can just break this support, and then since there's not much other support until down here, maybe it comes like way low. I don't know. So sorry about that one. Just not the best. I don't like forcing things on charts. And then TRCH. Let me just delete everything. Okay. Yeah, look at that neutron. Sure. Appreciate the support earlier with the stick, the risk reward sticker. It's actually on the back of my MacBook right now. TRCH, the 4-hour, kind of, you could call it bullish convergence, or you could call it class B bullish divergence, whatever you call it. I mean, you can only call it divergence if you ignore this candle wick, but again, everything was falling that day in the market pretty much in the morning when everything put in like a hammer or a pin bar candle. As long as you're above $2, it looks pretty decent, okay? But also resistance at 244, so you're kind of in the middle of them too. EHR, Ubo, and then you said CCIV. Let's see. I really don't use harmonics on anything under the 1 hour, just because they play out very quick, and you know. So you said the 10-minute chart. Well, I definitely did see the bullish Gartley. I was talking about this earlier in stream. But you were saying triple confirmation across oscillators. Yeah, I see that. Yep, first confirmation, second one, third one. I definitely can see the decreasing levels of negative momentum the more the price goes down. And then butterfly harmonic. You're saying a butterfly. I see more of a Gartley. Right, from here to up here, it came back down, and you made a 0.618, so it couldn't be a butterfly. But you obviously might be looking at like a different pivot on the price, so I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not too sure which one you're talking about with all the different like little movements on the 10-minute chart. But I definitely do see the Gartley on the 1 hour, which is what I really like here. So yeah, futures are ripping. S&P futures are about the same. They're pretty much just flat now, which is better than being down like they were earlier. Let's go check out the NASDAQ futures again. Wow, NASDAQ futures are ripping. Let's go. Awesome. Hopefully it holds overnight though. There's still, what, like, I'm not, like 11 hours till the market opens or something? What do you think? So that's 2 plus 9. Yeah, I think it's like 11 hours. Different anchor points, same idea overall. You got it. Appreciate all the support. We got a few more takers to look at right down here. DHR. Nice breakout. You definitely broke above 220, which used to be your support right here, and it was your resistance right here. So you did break out on Friday, confirmed. Now you do need follow-through price action, but your candle did close above it. Your next resistance is 227. A lot of people are range traders. If you're a range trader and you trade channels, you trade the lows of the channels up to the tops. This is like a range trade. That might sound like a weird word, but there are a lot of people who just trade ranges all day, like scalpers. So this could be like a scalper's world. But hey, if it breaks 227, yeah, I mean, it could go really high. Nice bounce off the 200-day moving average as well. Not much, I mean, maybe some local divergence on the daily, sure. And then classic bullish divergence on the 4-hour, on the MACD and on the RSI. So broke out with some divergence. Definitely, like, this chart just makes sense to me. I'm not saying it's like a tradable, like, I don't even know. It depends on how you trade, but this chart is pretty easy to read, not gonna lie. That back is killing me though. What's the difference between a NASDAQ future and the actual NASDAQ? There are no dumb questions. Futures, really, I don't know the exact calculations of futures, but basically they just give you potential outlooks for how the market could look in the short-term future. I think they're actually based on the long-term future though, like on contracts or something. I don't remember the exact. I looked at it before, but I kind of forgot it. I don't really care about what they mean. I just care about how they work. I mean, I care about what they mean, but I just, all you really have to do is understand how futures work. Typically, if your futures are really, really red overnight, then you might have a bad open in the market. If your futures are really, really green overnight, you might have a good open in the market. So futures typically are around the same exact price as spot price, which is like the actual indices, but they vary a little bit, and they just, again, the market's closed that night. So like a probability for how the open the next day will be, or maybe even in the short term. But there's futures on so many different things. Like there's futures on commodities, you know, there's futures on Bitcoin, I believe. Like the futures market is like its own market. Well, of course you can line it up with like actual equities markets, right? But yeah, great question. Even though I'm not probably the best person to answer it. But, you know, I just use them to anticipate opens. Getting old like us? Yeah. After this weekend, I do feel a lot older after this weekend. Ooh. We got to look at Jumia. Brent's a big fan of Jumia. It's trying. I mean, Jumia kind of looks similar to the QQQ and the NASDAQ, where like, hey, you could look at it like an inverse head and shoulders, but you can also look at it like a regular head and shoulders. So you just have like, I don't really know where you can put the right shoulder right there, right here. You get the point though. I mean, this is like your make or break area. I mean, this is your make or break area for the inverse head and shoulders, right? You want to bounce off of like $40. You don't want to fall under $40. And then you definitely, even if you broke $40, you definitely do not want to break under, and this is a pretty far away from the current price, but you definitely don't want to break under 33, because that's like the neckline of the potential head and shoulders, right? So different ways to look at it. We're one like away from 50 likes. So with that like button, we already looked at Fubo. Wait, did we not look at Fubo? Let me think. No, we didn't. I'm sorry. Fubo. Why is this? Oh, okay, so it came back down to the entry. Yeah. I mean, I put out a trade on Fubo. If you wanted to stay in the trade, completely your choice. Just, you know, it was up a lot, then it came back down to the entry. I didn't want to turn into a losing trade, but it's still a winning trade for right now. So technically, I might have been wrong right there. Okay. But pretty close. So I believe it's like a bullish bat almost. And as long as you're above 28, you're technically good. So that's really it. I mean, you just want to hold above $28. I mean, realistically now, if we just go like the 1 hour, you could probably find another support. Yeah, like you want to hold above $30 now, right? That's like your support from here, kind of from here if you include the hammer. So that's Fubo, and then Sohu. You are showing some hidden bullish divergence developing on the daily. Well, trying to hold the 200-day moving average. Pretty big make or break area. You're right at a support too. Yeah, this is a big make or break area for this stock. So a decision will most likely be made soon. I like the candle from Friday. Bullish pin bar candle. Nice. Right over the 200-day moving average. So you're hoping you can hold above 17 on SOHU. Tesla, Amazon. Tesla's already at the bottom right there. Solo. So Tesla. Potential inverse head and shoulders on the 4-hour. Again, a lot of stocks are just doing the similar thing that the NASDAQ and the QQQ are doing because they represent, particular stocks in the market. Potential inverse head and shoulders, but you would need to break this green supply line. If you break it, you could see like 780 pretty easily, but you need to break this first, okay? If you don't break it, it's only a potential pattern. Amazon, is it still in that symmetrical triangle? Do I even have it charted? Might have broken out to the downside. So I guess it's just trying to hang on to like the 3078 support, but not doing the best job. I don't know, the technicals, in my opinion, on Amazon look a little bit weird. They're just not super clear. There's a lot of different potential supports and resistances. Very weird range it's been in ever since like literally September. I know a lot of high market cap options traders have been pretty frustrated with Amazon because of how all the chop it's been doing. So I'm just not too sure with Amazon. And then Solo. I can't say I'm surprised that Solo fell from pretty much $10 down to $4 in a matter of a month. It fell pretty much half of its value in a month. Not too surprised. I'm not necessarily hating on it, but I'm just not a believer in Solo for the long term just because of my opinion and how I think the car looks and the specs on the car and the price on the car. I'm just not a fan of the company, but I'm not hating on it. I mean, I remember even over here, I said that the chart looked good. If you remember back over here, there was some hidden bullish divergence, like a double bottom in a range. Like literally the night before it made like a 10% move, I said it looked good. And as a joke, maybe some people who were here back then remember it. Like as a joke, I bought 1 share of Solo just to say that I was a Solo shareholder, so nobody could tell me crap for hating on it, because I'm just playing around. But yeah, I made like 80 cents on my 1 share of Solo because I got at like $8 or something, sold at like $8.80. So the one time I traded Solo, I made profit on it. All right, so I'm a profitable Solo trader. And then I guess I traded it right before this major fall. Best 80 cents of my life, okay, let me tell you. And at this point, I'm not too sure. I mean, I think it's actually bearish under 622, and I'm not being biased when I say that. I'm being straightforward. 622 was your support, okay? So you're not over your support unless you're over 622. Otherwise, you're under a resistance. So this is an unbiased look. If you get back above 622, then we're talking. Then we're talking on Solo, YOLO for Solo, just like Cheddar Freeze would say, or just like Cheddar Freeze would say, I would say. Is there any supports though? I guess you have a support at 512, but it's not super clear. So you're just kind of in the range between support and resistance. I'm just getting that 512 support all the way back from these candle highs in 2019. Okay, and that is YOLO for Solo. The egg car. Bottom McChicken, yeah, with the Solo trade. DSM. We already looked at Clover much earlier in the stream. I don't see any divergence on the 4-hour daily, but you're out of support. As long as you can hold on to $113, you're good, but you don't have a lot of room, okay? You're hanging on by a thread. All right, that's TSM. And that covers that. But yeah, futures on the S&P still relatively flat, which is better than being down, like I said earlier. and then NASDAQ futures percent. Let me try and find the ticker for this on TradingView. If anybody knows, please let me know. Let me just try and type it in. I think I found it. Let's go. All right, found NASDAQ futures. I've been meaning to put this on my watch list forever because I only look at S&P futures. But finally, I have obtained the NASDAQ futures on my TradingView watch list. Thank you, Cheddar Freeze. I just looked at the chat. So now we have NASDAQ futures. But look, let's go on the 10-minute and see. These are the NASDAQ futures. These are the S&P futures. So NASDAQ outperforming the S&P futures in the past hour by a very decent amount. Okay. All right. Bitcoin just going kind of sideways. So got 44 people in here. Been live for, well, hopefully I'm not lagging right now because, all right, I look good. All right, an hour and a half. So this is typically been my normal stream time. Pretty much like I would stream for an hour and a half every single day. But in the last few weeks, I've only been streaming for like an hour because for whatever reason, streams have just been like hours. And I don't know why. Like I'm enjoying it. It's just like, it just feels like the time is like so weird lately. But like this stream has been like the normal stream time, but it feels longer than my normal stream time. I don't know. But yeah, if you're enjoying all the analysis, all the ticker requests, make sure to drop a like on the stream. Still got 40 people in here. We could probably reach 60 likes if we have the power to do it, or the motivation. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and check out the video I put out on harmonics today. Already over 200 views. Thank you very much for that. Join the Discord. The link's in the description. If you want to send me a tip or get some merch, that's the second link in the description. And if you want to sign up for the premium alerts, $1 a day, like a coffee, that's the pinned chat in the chat. So let's look at these other tickers. ORA, SNPR. So no, this is ORA. Your support's like $73. As long as you're above that, you're technically fine. But I don't really see much of a pattern or any confirmed divergence on the daily or the 4-hour. And SNPR, kind of like a multi-level support. I would say you're holding above support, but no divergence. Maybe a pattern, maybe a double bottom. Looks like it's a SPAC, I think. So yeah, maybe like a higher low double bottom or something. And then your neckline would be right over there. But yeah, I feel like we've gotten through a lot of tickers tonight. We'll see how the market opens tomorrow. Futures still around the same price. I don't know. So if we look at the S&P on the weekly, you have classic bearish divergence. So let me just take this off the weekly. So this is a little bit scary, okay? Classic bearish divergence on the S&P 500 on the weekly is a bit concerning. Let's see if I can find the last time there was classic bearish divergence. There was some over here. Nothing really bad happened. I don't know. Let's see, what about right here? Yeah, there was over here. All right, so the last 2 or 3 times it's had the weekly bearish divergence. It didn't look too bad. Was there any bearish divergence before the COVID crash? Not on the weekly. Oh, let's see. There was bearish divergence on the daily before the COVID crash on the S&P. But you don't have any bearish divergence on the daily right now, the S&P, just the weekly. You're technically still on a wave of hidden bullish divergence, even though the MACD is waning, but technically you still are. See what happens tomorrow. And yeah, I don't know, I feel like we've covered a lot. I can't even explain. Okay, look into my eyes. Can't even explain the fire that is lit inside of me to what's the word to use? To show the I'm so bad at finding words to use, but there's just a fire inside of me after the decision. I believe in this whole entire movement so much, and I just want it to be amazing, and I'm literally doing everything in my power to make this community literally as good as it can be so that it can last a very, very long time. Because honestly, I feel like a lot of other communities, especially like the smaller ones, they're just not going to be, I don't think they're going to be around after the bull market ends. But you know, the thing with how I trade and with technicals and what I've learned from Mitch Ray is like, it really doesn't, there's always going to be a good market somewhere. There's always going to be a hot sector somewhere. And even if there's not, you can use technicals for both sides of the game, right? You can use technicals for bullish, for longing things. You can use technicals for shorting things. So I'm not, and again, you've seen it on the red days. I'm sure you know on the big red days you see, I'm actually tweeting and posting on Discord a lot more on red days than I am on the green days. So I can give like all the updates on the levels, on the market, on the trades. But I'm sure you've seen like other people just kind of not doing anything on the red days, just sitting back. And I'm not saying like that's a bad thing. I'm just saying in terms of like people who post about stocks and stuff on social media. Like, I'm here no matter what type of a day it is in the market. I'm showing up and I'm trying to help out however I can. Let's go. Neutron Flux Labs 28 bought the Vibes denim cap. Are you joking me? I believe that's the first purchase of that merchandise. So you currently are the only person in the world. Actually, I think I ordered that for myself. Other than myself, you're like the only person in the world who owns that piece of merchandise. It's one of the least sold. So you are unique, and that brings up the value of it, okay? Awesome. Thank you, Neutron Flux Labs, not only for that, but for all the support. Again, I've said this to you multiple times. You know, you've really been learning a lot very, very quickly. You've had a couple one-on-one calls. Really proud of your progress. Keep it up. Keep crushing it. Good things to come. Thank you so much for all the support. If anybody else wants to get some merchandise or send a tip, that's the second link in the description, the first link in the description. It'll say tips and merch. And if you want to sign up for premium alerts, that's the pinned comment in the chat. So I'm trying to go as long as I can. However, if you can see right over here, low battery. So what typically happens when I get to low battery, if anybody remembers literally my last stream, is I'm going to start lagging a lot. Okay. My screen's going to start freezing, then I'm going to be talking, and then out of nowhere, that's what it's going to be like. I'm just going to freeze, and the stream's going to cut out, okay? So I'm trying to go as long as I can, but I feel like we've covered everything, and I still, you know, have some more work to do. Try and find some more potential premium trades, and just member trades as well. But again, I need to personally find some time to relax, because even now I'm not even relaxing on like the weekends that much. Like before my week, like I was working super hard during the week, like 15-hour work days, and then on the weekends, like especially on Saturday, I was just like literally, I would just be, my brain would just be not functioning. I would just be like sitting in bed watching movies. But this weekend I've been like wired up the whole entire weekend, just charting, finding potential trades, thinking about how to make all these or make the decision that I made work out in the best manner possible. So just, my brain hasn't stopped in the last few days, really in the last couple of weeks, honestly. So again, and this is not just for me and my decision, for anybody. I'm sure a lot of people here have had really tough decisions in life, and I'm sure a lot of you here, or I know all of you here, are going to have tough decisions again. And personally, how I feel about, you know, big decisions is, sometimes, you know, it's just really, you have to kind of sacrifice the short term for what you feel will be best in the long term, right? You know, that goes for a lot of different decisions in life. And I'm not going to try and get too personal, but just pros and cons. So yeah, appreciate all the support. Thank you so much. Computer's about to die. If you want to sign up for premium alerts, if you look into my eyes, trust me, I am doing everything to provide the utmost quality I can. So yeah, it feels like this whole entire movement's been so crazy, but it feels like right now it's like 2.0, if that makes sense. But at the same time, nothing's changed at the core. We still have awesome people in this community, and every single one of us is trying to help each other out, and that's an amazing thing. So I appreciate all the support. Thank you, everybody who can understand, at least understand. I'm not asking you to agree. I'm just asking you to try and understand where I'm coming from in the short term. And I have a very good feeling that you're really going to understand this decision in a few months from right now. Okay? So it's all a game of chess at the end of the day. I've been literally getting messages during this stream, so thank you everybody who's been helping me out. Yeah, thank you Cheddar Freeze for dropping the premium alerts in the chat. If anybody wants to sign up, but that's gonna do it. Computer's literally about to die. Futures, Nasdaq futures are ripping right now. Let's go. S&P futures bouncing a little bit. Let's see, can they go to green while I'm streaming? They're down 0.04%, 0.05%, 0.04%. I'm not too sure. Nasdaq futures are almost up 0.5%. Yeah, have a good night, everybody. Trade safely this week. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you all so much for all the support. All right, I'll see you tomorrow night, and I'll be posting in the Discord tomorrow. Be tweeting tomorrow. It's time for work. All right, it's time for work. That's the easiest way to put it. I'm gonna put in even more work. All right, have a good one, everybody. I've said like 3 times, but peace out.
Cheer.